Hey everyone and welcome back to JToH News. For those who are new here, in this series I take notes of what happened in a month and then make a video like this covering it, ranging from huge updates to exploiters to minor bug fixes. The month is June 2023 and we have 9 stories to go through, so let's get started. For our first story this month, we have a brand new update for the game, tower statistics and tower profiles. Since these came out in the same update and are kinda similar, I'm combining this into one section. Starting off with tower statistics, when you join JToH once this update came out, it will start tracking your completions, how long you've been in that tower for, your best run without boost items, how many times you've been in it, as well as its difficulty. This feature is really cool but feels kinda unnecessary and pointless after very few uses. Then there's tower profiles. Basically these let you create a profile like on social media, but in JToH. With tower profiles you can customize your favorite tower, your favorite area, your status, and have a custom background. There's currently a background for every SC tower and Pride cosmetic in the game, as well as a couple other random cosmetics. You can also customize your name color. Tower profiles also show other stats like how many towers you've completed, how much positive energy you've extracted, your hardest tower, total playtime, as well as your roles. How roles work is depending on your status in the game, you can get roles like tower creator, verified builder, and more shown on your profile. All of these features can be turned off over here. You can also view other people's profiles through the server list or just search someone else's profile up via username. While these changes are cool, they feel a bit pointless and unnecessary. I don't hate them, but the time used to develop them could have been used for something more important. Moving on to a new event now. On June 6th, Gambit released an update for the 7th anniversary of KToH. In order to play this event, there was a part added in the event realm that teleports you to it. This took you to Tower Effect and it was basically the first version of KToH but with one difference. There was a couple signs on 401 that had a counter for how many visits there were. You got visits from beating ToH, and if the visits hit a certain milestone, a new update would release. The first update added tower screen punching and the first version of the lobby. A new milestone was set and this was hit very fast. The next update added TOIE and the new lobby. The next milestone was hit around a day later and it added Tower of Anger and Tower of Madness and a slightly updated lobby. Then after that a new update came out with a brand new tower, Tower of Trouble. This is an easy tower apparently made by Overton that was heavily inspired by Tower of Anger. It's got the same conveyor arrows type of gameplay and even the same swinging platforms. Then the same day a new update came out with another brand new tower, Tower of Window Shattering. This was a challenging difficulty tower, also apparently made by Overton and Awesome Cool Pop. This tower was heavily inspired by Tower of Impossible Expectations like the hinge platforms on 408, kill brick decorations, and even some text made out of studs. But the best part of this tower is that they put a little peep song on 401. The final benchmark was hit the next day and a lot of new stuff was added. Ring 1 towers were complete, another completely new tower, Tower of Mass Destruction, was added, the old version of Tower Confusion was added, as well as the lobby, which is basically the same as the lobby we have today. Tower of Mass Destruction is Intense Tower by an unknown creator. All we know is that it was meant to be impossible, which it clearly isn't. There is also the old Tower Confusion. Most of the changes are on 401 and I will not be covering them here because it's already getting long enough. If you want to find out yourself, just watch a video on it. The event ended on the 19th of June and Gamma talked about some possibilities for the 8th anniversary. Let's move on to a game-changing change. Recently, Sidewave unpatched 3 glitches that were patched to prevent people from cheesing. The anti-item clip, the lag high jump, and the FPS cap. He gave reasoning for 2 out of 3 of the glitches. He said that the FPS cap would end up using over 30% of the memory, which caused crashes on some devices. And he also said that Roblox basically patched item clipping themselves. As for lag high jumping, he hasn't stated a reason for it being unpatched yet. The community are talking a lot about these glitches, most people are favouring them since it makes towers easier, with a very select few disliking the changes. There have been a lot of huge quality of life changes this month, so we'll start with the big stuff and then talk about the small stuff later. The tools menu has been completely reworked. There are a bunch of new buttons to enable / disabling healing items, boosts, or even all of your items. And the best feature was finally added. Item rearrangement is finally a thing! You can arrange items in whatever way you want and it will stay like that when you reset / rejoin. How it works is that you click the arrows corresponding to the column the item is on. So if you have an item from the most recent Christmas event and want to move it to the front, you need to click this arrow like 30 times, which kinda sucks. They should instead make it so you can type wherever you want the item to go. Performance stats were added so now you don't have to press Shift F5 every time you want to see your FPS. You can now join any main area from the menu now. New features were added to the spectate. You can now see the difficulty of the tower that someone's playing, how long they've been playing it for, whether or not they're using boost items. A refresh button was finally added to the join friends menu, which is amazing so I don't have to rejoin every time I want to be in a server with my friend. Xbox Shift Lock was added to the 6 people who play this game on Xbox, and Silent Abyss entered bug testing, which is going pretty smooth. Now for the minor quality of life stuff. 15 SE cosmetics were released. The ring select now displays how many towers you need to join the next area. A secret cosmetic was added to ring 2 thanks to this guy. Tower of Oblivion got an update balancing many parts of the tower to make it more indicated and fair. Also, the homeworld section hasn't been changed yet. Broken monthly challenges were fixed. Xbox shift lock was fixed, and so were death effects. The acronym of the tower you're playing now shows its difficulty color, and the acronym label now goes into the center if the timer is turned off. Hovering over the acronym also shows the full name. You can hide your own cosmetics. Xbox shift lock was also mapped to LT, and the difficulty points are now accurate in the ring select. Also, the Todai LDM bug was finally fixed. An animation was made when going to Paradise Atoll from Zone 1, and the raft in Paradise Atoll was fixed as well. The Tower of Traps update by Lightsynths has now been reverted due to Paramark's request. Tower Revolving Face has been changed back to Tower Spiraling Face due to Seal's request. The first 3 item icons made this month were released. These were the Heavenly Coil, Prism, and the Sunlit Snow Launcher. The gamepad cursor was enabled in the ring select, which allowed to 6 console players to navigate the ring select easier. The status on tower profiles were also fixed. The Heart of the Frosted animations were fixed. A cancel button was added when you select a frame for the tower profiles. The bog death effect was fixed. Lobby CEO's breaking was fixed. Rolls are now invisible if you don't have any, and the menu in the event realm was fixed. The Merry Ball, Artifice of Malice, Diamond Coil, Bootleg Speed Coil, Candy Cane Launcher, Comfort Bubble Blower, Fake Candy Cane, Ghost Plushie, Holiday Cookie, Link Sword, Wings and Mouse, Slammo Plush, Rock, and the Orange Candy Beacon finally have icons now. Now, it's time for the story you've all been waiting for. It's time for the biggest thing you've probably been waiting for. The day after I released my May 2023 JToH news video, Lightsynths writes a 408-page document exposing the entire staff team, the toxic side of the community, and talks about its history. A month prior he made his resignation document, but that does not matter now. This is the real document, and I'll try my best to summarize it. In the intro he talked about why he made this document and what he will be talking about in it. After this, he talked about his development history throughout the years, with chapters containing certain events like his introduction, events, and other incidents. I'm going to be reading out all the chapters, and there are 49 different chapters, so this will take a while. In the 2019 section, or Humble Beginning section, there are 13 chapters. Chapter 1 is his introduction to the game, Chapter 2 is how he became a dev, Chapter 3 is about Arcade Area, Chapter 4 is about Zone 1, Chapter 5 is about Ober's Inferno Reborn, Chapter 6 is about the Tora and Too Easy incidents, Chapter 7 is him briefly becoming a helper and moderator. Chapter 8 is about a character he made up called Valerie. Chapter 9 is about Zone 2. Chapter 10 is about the Ring 4 Massacre incident. Chapter 11 is Halloween 2019. Chapter 12 is Thanksgiving 2019. And Chapter 13 is Christmas 2019. Moving on to 2020, or Declining Mental Health, there are 11 chapters. Chapter 1 is about Ring 7 and TOYG. Chapter 2 is about Slight Schism. Hold on. Schism between Skittles, Punky, and Ray. Chapter 3 is about Zone 3. Chapter 4 is about Open Sabotage. Chapter 5 is about the Squishy Shibis incident. Chapter 6 is about CB, Simon, Jong20, Index, and other degenerates, as he says. Chapter 7 is about Ring 8. Chapter 8 is about Lightsynth's attempt to make his own fan game. Chapter 9 is about Halloween 2020. Chapter 10 is about Christmas 2020. And Chapter 11 is about Zone 4. Moving on to 2021, or The Last Good Year. Chapter 1 is about Zone 4 and talks about Decima and Tower of False Elysium. Chapter 2 is about Forgotten Ridge. Chapter 3 is about Ring 9. Chapter 4 is about Paradise Atoll. Chapter 5 is about Bad Tower School. Chapter 6 is about Thanos Tower's Tower Crossing update. Chapter 7 is about Zone 5. Chapter 8 is about the Tower of Mirrored Heck revamp. Chapter 9 is about drama regarding Vendetta. Chapter 10 is about Halloween and Thanksgiving 2021, as well as the Array drama and the V6 kit. And Chapter 11 talks about Christmas 2021/Winter 2022, Kohad, TOIB, and TOIA. 2022, or the final year of JToH development, has 9 chapters. Chapter 1 is about GOE, Chapter 2 is about Zone 6, Chapter 3 is about audio recovery, Chapter 4 is about POM and TORF, now TOSF, Chapter 5 is about Zone 7 and TUUI, Chapter 6 is about Lost River, Chapter 7 is about Halloween 2022, Chapter 8 is about Christmas 2022, and Chapter 9 talks about Lightsynth's permanent demotion. 2023, or CS Finny JToH, whatever that means, has 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is about his mental health recovery in January. Chapter 2 is about the Zone 8 polls in February, as well as the Punky No incident. Chapter 3 is for him returning to the JToH Discord in March. Chapter 4 is about Zone and KToH in April, and the final chapter is about his resignation in May. For the next section, he talked about his problems with the game and lists 11 problems that I'll briefly summarize. Problem 1 is that the old rings and zones are too outdated and aren't welcoming to new players willing to try the game out. Problem 2 is that modern tires prioritize designing creativity over gameplay. Problem 3 is how the curation system is fundamentally flawed. Problem 4 is how the tower pulls are rushed and poorly handled. Problem 5 is the removal of tower difficulty pulls. Problem 6 is how the developers and staff team are exploiting their own community and profiting off of their towers and the work. Problem 7 is about how the staff team can't move on from past transgressions or forgive ex-staff. Problem 8 is about the lack of transparency. Problem 9 is how it's not fun to build towers for the game anymore. Problem 10 is how there's so much toxicity, elitism, and overly high standards for the game. And Problem 11 is Juke is not a strong enough leader for the game and that she's being controlled by her own staff and dev teams. The final section of the document is called Final Judgment. In this section, Lightsynths sends a message to a lot of JToH staff and even former staff. Looking at them, he didn't really hate most of the staff, especially the curators and moderators. I won't be going over this as it isn't super important, and if you're curious, you can just read it yourself. After that is the afterword/epilogue. In this section, he basically just thanks the reader for listening, how long he's willing to speak out about this, and that he regrets nothing he said, and what he'll be doing in the future. Before this section ends, there are a couple of things in the document that were removed. At the very end of the document, he puts leaks of the upcoming Silent Abyss. Gamma section has also been removed since he apparently got doxxed over that section, and some false information regarding Decima and Punky Nil was also removed. During Punky Nil section, he said he was not guilty because Punky had manipulated him into believing that he is not guilty. All of this has either been updated or removed. That's it for this section, and thank God. Let's move on to the new story contest. A new contest has started in JToH, the story contest. In the story contest, you have to obviously make a tower with a story attached to it. Here are the rules of the contest. Some obvious stuff like only one submission per person, it can't be pre-made, only towers or steeples, etc. However, you are allowed to use wacky frames and custom client objects even if you aren't a builder or a verified builder. There will be 15 towers/steeples that will be put into the area varying from medium to remorseless, with more difficult to intense towers. The prizes for the contest will be 20,000 Robux and the verified builder role for first place, 10,000 Robux for second place, 5,000 Robux for third place, and the top 15 will have their towers put into the area, which will gain builder and contributor, and past tower/steeples that don't make it into the game will just get the builder role. Some more info to know is that if your collab has 4+ people, you will not be rewarded the builder role, and if your collab has 3+ people, you will not be awarded the verified builder role if it gets first place. This content also has a special kit that has client objects specifically made for this contest like bloom changers, depth changers, blur changers, and color correction changers. There's also a custom dialogue with a bunch of effects like rainbow, shake, custom sound effects, and even button activation. Oh yeah, the sound player is back if anybody remembers it from the old kits. Let's move on to some drama. Gamatar has gone on break from Discord recently due to some drama, mainly because of the stress as he got doxxed recently. It is unknown why he got doxxed, but it's most likely because of the Lightsynth document as mentioned earlier, and it's also unknown who doxxed him. We don't know how long Gamma will be on break for, and it'll probably best to just wait until he comes back. Soundwave is carrying the game anyway, so JToH players are eating good for a while. For our final story today, we'll be going over some top tower list changes. Tower of Virulence Sojourn has been placed at number 14, Tower of Infuriating Supplement has been placed at number 61 and was then moved down to number 67. Tower of Ruthless Royal Architecture has been moved up to number 26 and was then swapped with Tower Generation Failure to be at number 25. Stone Facility has been moved up to number 18, Tower of Exodus Obscurity has been moved up to 22, Tower of Descent into Exile was moved down to 22 and was then moved down to 24. Tower of Aitetsuku Hoshi has been moved up to number 54. Tower of Cataclysmic Lair has been moved up to number 29. Tower of Anarchist Fantasies was removed for being private. Steeple Coconut has been placed at number 23. Tower of Interdimensional Rifts has been placed at number 33. Tower of Short and Fatal Trouble has been placed at number 53. Tower of Umbra Retail has been placed at number 56. Tower of Indefinite Darkness has been moved up to number 61. Tower of Roughly Rotated Room was moved up to number 46 and then was swapped with Tower of Lavish Stones being placed at number 45. Tower of Micromanagement and Tower of Impossible Movement swap places, putting Tower of Micromanagement at number 59. Tower of Uttermost Agony and Tower of Raspy Cascades also swap places, putting Tower of Uttermost Agony at number 74. Tower of Two-Sided Misery and Tower of Impossible Movement also swap places, putting Tower of Two-Sided Misery at number 60. Tower of Torturous Oblivion was moved up to number 22. Tower of Long-Lasting Leucophobia was moved up to number 27. Tower of Agonizing Demise and Tower of THJE Corner swap places, putting Tower of THJE Corner at number 48. Tower of Wayward Venture has been placed at number 35. Tower of TH10 was placed at number 75, was then removed from the list for being too easy. Tower of Champions Road and Tower of Pulsating Ambition swapped places, putting Tower of Champions Road on number 15. And finally, Tower of Agonizing Devices has been moved down to number 56. That concludes this month's JToH news. Really sorry this came out late. I was really busy recently, but since summer break has started for me, expect
Puffin! Puffin! Stop stealing all my skins!
Right. No way! No way!